Hi, I'm Dr. Tricia Binkley. I'm the STEM Services Coordinator and Gifted Liaison here at the Chester County Intermediate Unit, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to differentiate your instruction for gifted and advanced students in your classroom. Now, the techniques I'm going to share with you today focus on 3 different ways we can differentiate for students: content, process, and product. I'm going to share 4 different examples. Some are a little bit easier than others to implement in your classroom, and some require a little bit of work to prep ahead of time. But they're really great things to incorporate with students of any age in any content. And I'm looking forward to this work with you today. At several points throughout our session together, there will be opportunities for you to stop, go look at some files that I have for you in a Google folder, and try them out for yourself. And then come back, watch a little bit more, learn a little bit more, and go try something else that's new. So by the end of our time together, you'll have 4 new things that you can implement with your students pretty quickly. So I'm excited to begin, so let's get started. The first thing I'd like to talk to you about is a great resource that I have from a book that I'll share with you in a moment. We'll put it up on the screen, called E3. The 3 E's are enrichment, extension, and enhancement. Enrichment focuses on taking something really broad to something really specific. So for example, if you were studying the solar system, instead of studying all the planets and everything in the solar system, you may choose just to focus on one particular aspect of the solar system. Extensions, on the other hand, take something really specific to really broad. So we could choose to focus on larger contexts of all solar systems or all planets or all exoplanets that we're studying. And lastly, enhancement focuses on making connections between learning and subjects. So instead of just studying about a solar system, we could study systems in general, or perhaps we focus on historical contexts in relation to the science that we're learning. So I'm going to share with you a great resource that has math, science, social studies, and ELA examples. And while you may think, well, that one doesn't really apply to my classroom, they're a great starting point for you to jump off and take those E3 examples and apply them to your own classroom. So we will pause here. I'll give you an opportunity to go out and investigate that document and come back with some really great ideas. Thanks for coming back. I hope you enjoyed that E3 resource. The next topic we're going to talk about is a technique called most difficult first. The best way to explain this one is something from my own teaching experience as a math teacher. So say, for example, you're giving some practice problems or a homework assignment, and maybe it has between 10 and 20 problems on that worksheet or in the textbook. You're going to identify the most difficult problems, somewhere around 5 to 7, depending on the grade level that you're working with, of the most difficult problems in that assignment. Then you're going to announce to the students what those most difficult problems are and give them the opportunity that, should they choose, they can try the most difficult ones first. If they score 90 or 95% or better, say a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5 on those problems, then they don't have to do the rest of the problems because they've done the most difficult ones first. Instead, with the remaining time that they have in class or for homework, they could choose to complete some extra extension activities that you have, or complete an alternate assignment, or work ahead on something else. This is a great technique to use with any grade level and any subject area, and it's pretty easy to implement rather quickly, allowing students who are already masters of particular content to move on to something else. So I'm going to pause now, let you go investigate some documents that I've shared in that most difficult first section, and see what you can do to try that technique out for yourself and for your students. Welcome back from your most difficult first journey. I hope you found that technique really useful. Next, I'm going to talk to you about invented dialogues. I really love this strategy. It's great for a wide variety of ages as well as content areas. This technique takes something like, say, history or English language arts or even math or science, and asks students to imagine what 2 different people might say about a topic. So we could combine history and science. Say we're studying solar systems, and we want 2 different people that we're studying in history class, say perhaps Benjamin Franklin and, I don't know, maybe perhaps Abraham Lincoln, and what might those 2 people have to talk to each other about the solar system? So that's a really interesting way to get students thinking creatively, getting them to use some required vocab, and really digging in and thinking about that content in a unique way. So I'm going to pause now and let you go out to our folder again for a third time to investigate the invented dialogue section. Have fun with that one. Welcome back from your last strategy. I hope you enjoyed that one. Invented dialogues is really fun. The last strategy I'd like to share with you is a strategy from Jay McTighe in his research and work called GRASPS. You may be familiar with that acronym. If you're not, it's a great strategy for incorporating some real-world learning for your students. It's an acronym, GRASPS, G-R-A-S-P-S. The first letter, G, is the goal. What's the goal of our project? R stands for role. Who is the student in terms of this work? Are they a researcher? Are they a scientist, a mathematician? Perhaps they're a journalist. Putting them in that authentic role really helps them understand the context of the work. A is the audience. Who's the intended recipient of this work that the student is doing? Perhaps they're crafting a letter to a senator, and then we could actually send it to the senator as their audience member. The first S is situation. What's the context of the work that the student is doing? P could be a couple different things depending on the project. It could be a product, it could be a performance, or it could be purpose. Depends on what your outcome is for the students. And the last S is the standards for success, explaining to the students in advance what the purpose is and how they're going to be graded or evaluated is really important for them to understand. So this is a great technique. You can apply it to a lot of different situations for a lot of different grade levels. And if you pop out now to our folder, I've got a great template for you to check out and some examples from a couple different grade levels. So enjoy your time investigating GRASPS. Thank you so much for joining me today on our differentiation journey for our gifted and advanced learners. I hope you got some really great techniques out of it, and I hope that everyone who participates has the ability to share with each other, because we don't have to recreate the wheel every time, and you may create something really awesome that we would want to share with all of our colleagues so that someone else can take advantage of that awesome tool that you've created as well. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to a few more sessions like this. Thanks for tuning in.